On this episode of China Uncensored, beware for dog. Hi, welcome to China Uncensored. I'm your host, Chris Chappell. So, remember these chengguan I keep talking about? The urban management officials that treat human beings like they're animals? Well, you don't want to know how they treat actual animals. By the way, if you're prone to outbursts of righteous indignation, you might want to not watch this episode. Or actually, most of these episodes. This cute little feller is One-Eye Jack. An English national who works at an international school in Beijing took him in. Oh, heartwarming until it became blood-boiling. According to an interview in the Nanfang, the owner, who wishes to remain anonymous, took little old One-Eye Jack for a Saturday morning walk when three men stopped him. Two were dressed in chengguan uniforms, the other was in plain clothes. They asked to see the dog's registration, but since he had just gotten the dog, he didn't have it yet. But he said the dog was already vaccinated, on a leash, and the registration process was already underway. Well, the chengguan, who seemed a bit drunk according to the owner, were getting a bit surly. And by surly, I mean they knocked the guy back, grabbed the leash from him, and beat the dog on the head with their baton. 4 times, while one held the guy down so he got to see the whole thing. That was the end of One-Eye Jack. The chengguan scooped him up in a black bag and drove off in an unmarked car. Now, obviously, One-Eye Jack's owner was a bit distraught, and it didn't help that police told him that since the dog didn't have registration papers, they couldn't do anything. You see, China has some pretty strict rules when it comes to dogs. They need to be re-registered every year for about $160 the first time and $80 each year after. If you don't, they can be confiscated. Like the Public Security Bureau, aka the police, have actually been known to go into residential compounds at night, knock on your door, and check. And if old Fido doesn't have a registration, off he goes. That's also why you need to always carry it with you when you walk your dog, or else it can be confiscated. And if that happens, you'll also face an $800 fine. Big dogs also have it hard. In Beijing's urban districts, you're not allowed to have a dog taller than 14 inches at the shoulder. There are also 40 different breeds that are banned because they're large and vicious, like Dalmatians, Golden Retrievers, Boxers, and Collies. Sorry, lassie, Timmy's just gonna have to stay in that well. And remember, you have people from the Public Security Bureau going to your apartment to check. And what happens if your large dog is taken? Well, you can't get him back. In fact, according to the New York Times, some animal rights advocates say those dogs end up going to the dog meat traders. By the way, the annual Yulin Dog Meat Festival is coming on June 21st, so get your tickets now. By the way, that New York Times article also says that some dog catchers have admitted to being given quotas for how many dogs to bring in. And by no means was One-Eye Jack the only dog to suffer this fate. In 2013, a woman claimed that police had kicked a golden retriever to death while the owner looked on. Of course, after police detained this woman for a while, she admitted to making the whole thing up. What a liar. It's a dog's life in China, so what do you think? And what would you do if authorities tried to beat your pet to death in front of your eyes? Leave your comments below and subscribe. Also be sure to check out the Facebook and Twitter page. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. See you next time.